Okay, everybody, we're live. Welcome back. It's the First Inning Podcast, and I'm here with the big Yankee fan, Roger. What's going on, Roger?
All right, DX Bomber. It's been a little while since we did our last podcast. We had some scheduling difficulties, and I had some things that had to be done, and I'm glad to be back on with you now. And happy holidays to everyone.
Absolutely, man. It's been a great Thanksgiving. Ate a lot of turkey.
Yes, I had a nice, intimate Thanksgiving with my sister and my mom and my nephew, and we had a very nice day. It was a very good day.
Yeah, they say it was the coldest Thanksgiving in over 117 years over here in New York, anyway.
Yeah, it was very chilly down here, not quite as cold as it was up in New York. At the start of the Thanksgiving parade, I believe the temperature was about 20 degrees and one of the coldest starts, and they had a 30-mile-per-hour wind gust, but it was below the 33 miles per hour that would require that they couldn't have the balloons. So fortunately, they had the balloons, and a nice parade, but one of the coldest ones in quite a while.
Yeah, man, it was cold, man. I don't know how they did it, but it was cold.
Yes, and we're actually going to get a little bit of a warm-up over the next couple of days. Today, Black Friday, was also chilly, but we're going to get up into the low 50s for a couple of days anyway and get back more towards late November weather.
Yeah, man, and hopefully things get heating up with the Yankees and the off-season, and guys with new players coming on the team like Paxton, the new starting pitcher.
Yeah, so what happened is the Yankees made a trade, and they traded away one of their top pitching prospects along with two other prospects. They traded Justus Sheffield, and they picked up James Paxton, who was playing for the Seattle Mariners. And he's 30 years old, and he's a Canadian resident, actually. He's from Canada, British Columbia, and he's come to the team now. And I have some information about Paxton. I have some things pulled up.
What do you got?
And, okay, well, we have Paxton's prodigious talent. Paxton came up to the majors as a multiple-time top 100 prospect, albeit with control issues. He made it to the big leagues at 24 and produced middling results for a few seasons before hitting his stride in late 2016. Over the last 3 seasons, Paxton has become a top-of-the-rotation starter. Between 2017 and 2018, he threw 296 in the third innings and allowed just 112 earned runs, good for a 3.40 earned run average. He also struck out 364 batters and pitched to a 1.10 whip. Fielding independent pitching, FIP had him at a 2.95 mark, indicating that he pitched even better than his ERA might indicate. Paxton attacks hitters with his mid-90s fastball and high 80s cutter, using those pitches over 75% of the time. For off-speed pitches, he turns to a low 80s curveball while experimenting with a mid-80s changeup. His strikeout rate has increased every year since 2015 and rose to a career best 32.3% in 2018. He sported a 25.7 K per base on balls rate, 6th best in baseball among pitchers with at least 150 innings pitched. The names above him featured 3 Cy Young winners, Chris Sale and Garrett Cole, not bad company. His 2018 season also featured a career best 160 in the third innings pitched. He has previously eclipsed that in 2 seasons that included time in the minors. At 30, he should be in the prime of his career, and the past few years have indicated that. Not to mention that Paxton tossed a no-hitter on May 8th last season. He challenged the Blue Jays with his fastball all evening and had enough gas to complete the feat in just 99 pitches. One start earlier, the southpaw struck out 16 athletics in what might have been a more distinguished outing against one of the league's best offenses. As an aside, he's a friend to bald eagles, despite his Canadian citizenship. Not a bad guy to have around. And in a little bit, I'll tell you some of the possible risks that come with Paxton as well.
He's been hurt a few times.
But yes,
in different areas.
I'll go into that right now. Then I'll get right into the risks. The risks. There is one standard risk when it comes to Paxton's health. The only reason Paxton doesn't find himself near the top of a Cy Young ballot or with an All-Star appearance to his name is his constant flood of injuries. His 28 starts in 2018 were a career best, but he hasn't been a workhorse during his time in Major League Baseball. Every year, Paxton has found himself on the disabled list. Some of the injuries have been fluky, like when a comebacker struck him last year. He's avoided shoulder injuries and has yet to have a significant elbow injury, though he's missed time with bruised elbow and forearm injuries. The southpaw may never be a 200-inning starter, but the Yankees clearly think he's good enough to give them 25-plus starts in a representative postseason. Cashman and ownership wouldn't have given up their prospect without weighing his medicals first. When on the mound, Paxton has seen his home run rate balloon this past year. He allowed 23 home runs after giving up just 26 combined in 2015 through 2017. The Big Maple, that's his nickname, gave up more fly balls than ever before, which isn't exactly what you want to see when you're moving from spacious Safeco Park to the cozier Yankee Stadium. Finally,
he gives up a lot of fly balls, you say?
Right. And finally, this is the end here. Finally, unfair as it may be, Paxton doesn't have postseason experience. That isn't really his fault, playing his entire career in Seattle. Still, there will be those who harp on the Yankees not acquiring a proven ace. For those detractors, remember that Justin Verlander and David Price had checkered postseason pass until the last couple seasons. So there's a little bit of information about Paxton for you, the risks and the upside. So that's where we stand now with the trade that the Yankees have made.
And that the fact that he hasn't pitched not even close to anywhere to 200 innings.
Right, his top total was 160, and as I said, there are risks, the possible injuries.
So hopefully he can go a whole season. And the Yankees got another outfielder too. I forget his name.
They did. Yeah, I don't have it up right now. They made a trade with the Dodgers.
Austin something or something like that. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, I have to check it out there. And the Yankees appear as if they're going to be trading Sonny Gray. They want to trade Sonny Gray, and they are looking to put another starter. They're looking to pick up another pitcher for the rotation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Paxton is not the end.
Yeah, because they only have 4 starters right now. Tanaka, Severino, CC, and Paxton. That's it. They need another guy. They have to get Hap, or somebody to get in there.
Yeah. As of right now, a lot of stuff is hearsay. To talk about Manny Machado, and the Yankees may be in on him. They may not be. It's all pundits speaking right now.
Yeah, because I heard Brian Cashman on The Fan the other day. He was saying that they're looking more into a second baseman, and they're going to move over Torres to shortstop because that's his natural position. And he would play better there at shortstop than at second base.
Yeah, and I also heard something about if the Yankees trade Sonny Gray, he may go to the Cincinnati Reds. They may be looking to pick up someone like Scooter Gennett or something like that to be an infielder. But the Yankees do seem intent on moving Sonny Gray as of this point. And, the whole thing with Machado and Harper is the Yankees are holding their cards close to their chest, and they're not really saying one way or the other.
I don't really think they're going to get Harper because they picked up that other outfielder from the Dodgers. Right. He's from the Dodgers, this guy. And they're trying to get another second baseman. So I don't really think they're going to go on Machado neither.
Right, exactly. And it is just a case of, the Yankees are concentrating on their pitching. And that's pretty much where they stand right now, and they seem to be concentrating on pitching.
The Yankees really need to pick up the big picture. This next one that they pick up has to be the ace of the team type of pitcher.
Right.
That's the way I see it. Because I mean, they got aces already, but they need the number one guy. They need to pay for him right now. You know, because that's the only way the Yankees are gonna get a World Series. You know.
Exactly.
Because if they pick up a mediocre guy after this, then it's gonna be real tough to go into the postseason with that type of lineup.
Right, I understand. The Yankees are a power hitting lineup that does really rely on the home run quite a bit, and we need to see them do some things as far as their fundamentals are concerned, and hitting with runners in scoring position. The name of that player is Tim Locastro.
There you go.
Tim Locastro has been. The Yankees traded a pitcher named Drew Finley in a win-win deal for both sides. The Dodgers were looking to pick up this pitcher, and Tim Locastro, as of this point, they're not really projecting him to be on the team, and so they really project them to be in the minors. And you know, they have the whole situation going on. They have re-signed Brett Gardner to a smaller contract than the $12.5 million option that they were going to pick him up for.
Yeah, what they gave him, $6 million?
$7.5 million.
There you go.
$7.5 million. And Gardner is weighing his options now. He knows he had a down season offensively last year, and he's basically going to be taking it year to year at this point.
Well, honestly, I think this is Gardner's last year as a Yankee. Give him his hurrah. Let him go on his final hurrah, and that's it, man. Because he can't run no more. He can't even play. He's not hitting.
Right.
You know, he's not hitting. He's not running. You know, he's not stealing bases like he used to. You know.
I know. I wonder if that has something to do with the Yankee style of play, though, because I know he's lost a step and everything. He's not as fast as he was. But the Yankee style of play was not to run, really. They were a team that was really just relying on the big fly. You know, with him hitting in front of Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge, they were apprehensive to have him try to steal a base and potentially get caught. You know, they wanted to have men on base, and then they were looking for the big fly. But I would like to see the Yankees hit and run and steal a little bit more. And
the Yankees are notorious for leaving men on base as well.
Right, that's what they did last year. You know, they were not the, and the infield defense was a little bit suspect, as you were talking about too. You know, there were Luke Voigt is a big slugger, but not the greatest fielding first baseman, and you know, and Miguel Andujar is still learning third base, so their infield defense had been considered a bit suspect as well.
That's right. That's true, man. Man, Yankees got a lot of work to do, man, with the catching. And a lot of people don't believe in Andujar playing third base for some reason, which I don't find that he was a problem, but they need that bat there because he was the best hitter on the team. So you still kind of need him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I always think he can improve. He's very young. He's only 22, 23
That's what I'm saying. It's only his first year playing, so give him another year, 2 years, he's going to be awesome there. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and boy, could he hit. He sure did hit. And Duhar was a fantastic hitter this year. And as we know, he came in second for the Rookie of the Year. You know, everyone was enamored with Ohtani, you know, because Ohtani was both a pitcher and a hitter as well. And I have a little bit of information about Miguel Andujar, too. He hit everything in 2018, and he was an outstanding hitter. And this is from Yankees. This is from Pinstripe Alley, and they were talking about how Andujar really, in many ways, Miguel Andujar is a victim of circumstance. The young slugger has come off an impressive rookie campaign, yet because Shohei Ohtani had an unbelievable debut, Andujar had to settle for second place in Rookie of the Year voting. What's more, the Yankees' off-season pursuit of Manny Machado has led many Yankee fans to view Andujar as a trade chip for starting pitching. Andujar was good, but he wasn't good enough to win Rookie of the Year over Ohtani, and he isn't good enough to preclude the Yankees from replacing him with Machado. With that being said, Andujar is a talented player in his own right, and it's a shame that recent discussions about him have focused on what he can or cannot do rather than appreciating him for what he is. To use a Beatles analogy, Let It Be is no match for a Revolver or Rubber Soul, but it's still a darn good album that lesser bands can only wish they could write. Likewise, Andujar may pale in comparison to Ohtani or Machado, but that doesn't diminish how impressive his rookie campaign was. He was very impressive.
Yeah, man. No, that's definitely one rookie card you got to go look for there.
Exactly.
Shohei Ohtani, man, that dude is heavy, man. To be pitching like that and hitting home runs and all that too, that's serious, man. That's serious business. He deserves. I think MVP, yes, but he didn't need to get Cy Young or anything like that, or because I mean
remember, he got injured pitching anyway.
That's the thing, yeah.
So he's not going to pitch next year. He's got to recover from the Cy Young the surgery, and he's going to have to recover from that and not do the pitching, and so he'll be a hitter next year. But Andujar, I would say he's a keeper. He had 27 home runs, had 92 runs batted close to 300, and a lot of people would kill to have a young player like that in there.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't know what the hell these guys were thinking though, because them Japanese players, they don't last long. They're not durable. They're not durable, man. They get hurt very quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they cannot perform at this level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The major league level is serious, man. Compared to them, they're like a minor league team. Japan and these other guys. They're like minor league players compared to these guys. So when they come here, these guys are blasting these guys. You know what I mean? It's much harder for them.
Well, for example, the Japanese pitchers are used to pitching on a six-man rotation, and Tanaka has come through as a decent pitcher for the Yankees.
Yeah.
But he is pitching with the partial tear in the ligament, but so far it has held up. And some of the bigger-name Japanese pitchers have fared well, but then you have other ones that have not done so well. Some of the ones that the Yankees had picked up in the past had not fared well.
That's like that Chinese kid, Ryan Shinshu.
Oh, Chin-Ning Wang.
No, from the Dodgers right now. Ryan Rai Shinshu, I think that's something like that.
Rai Shinshu, yeah.
Yeah, he's a free agent. Yankees could pick him up too. He's all right.
Right. Yeah, that's a possibility. Right now, we're just in the rumor stage at this early point in November and late November at this point. And there's all kinds of talks. And the way I see it, it's good that the Yankees are focusing on pitching. And I'm just going to play it by ear. I mean, there's questions about Machado with the statements that he made where he is not going to be an eyewash hustler, is what he said. In other words, he's not going to take out hustling, but he's going to help his team win.
Yeah.
And many people feel that he, may not be a full heavy-duty hustler. And, so there's some character issues involving
Machado. And here's the thing, too, like with Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner, they say, we don't want to go over the property tax and blah, 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 right?
Right.
But then the other day on The Fan, he was like, nobody ever told me I couldn't go over the tax, and that we have our pockets open to do whatever, blah blah blah. But then on the other hand, they talking about they don't want to go over the tax threshold. Like they keep contradicting themselves. You know what I mean?
It's all talk right now. I mean, it's all talk that. What could be said this hour could be different an hour from now. At this point in time, where
It's
just in
just
the
that he's
talking
flip
stage.
flopping. You know, Cashman is flip flopping. You know,
Right.
he's saying one thing and then he says another thing. You know, another day.
Yeah, and it really is up to Hank and Hal and Jennifer Swindell, the sister. It's up to them, as the owners of the team, the Steinbrenner family, as to what the Yankees are going to do. And Cashman has to abide by what the Steinbrenners, their budget is for him.
And talk about the Steinbrenners. George Steinbrenner, he's nominated up for the Hall of Fame.
Wow, I heard about that. That would be very nice.
As an owner, so you know what? This year it could be a Yankee Hall of Fame summer because they could have Steinbrenner, Mariano, Andy Pennant, and
Right.
there's another Yankee there, I think, that could make it into the Hall of Fame, man, all in one swoop.
Many believe that Mariano could be the first 100% first place ballot winner, where he receives all first place votes for the ballot. And,
Yeah, he's got to go in, man. Come on, man. Mariano's got to go in, and George Steinbrenner too. He's got to go in as the owner.
Yeah, I mean, if Goose Gossage is in, and Goose Gossage was a relief pitcher for the Yankees at a time when the role was different. Goose Gossage would come in the seventh inning and pitch 2 1/3, 3 innings to get his saves. And then the roles had changed to the single-inning closer. But Gossage is in the Hall of Fame, and Mariano played in a different era. But Mariano is regarded, well, he's the all-time saves leader, and he is regarded as the best closer of this era.
Yeah, he definitely is. So he's gonna go in. So at least we'll have two, Steinbrenner and Mariano together.
Exactly. Oh, is Derek Jeter up? Derek Jeter retired in 2014, and it's 5 years before you're eligible for the Hall of Fame. And I don't know. I have to check into that.
No, he has still one more year. He has a 19.
One more year.
Not this summer. Not 19 summer, 2020.
I see. Yeah. And Gossage, I saw Gossage pitch quite a bit. I'm older than you, so I saw a lot of the teams in the 70s, and he was pretty awesome too. I was at the Yankees winning the pennant in 1978 against the Kansas City Royals. I was at Game 4 with Victor and my stepbrother Bruce and his girlfriend, and we were there, and Gossage came in and closed the game. That was an exciting moment of history. And in that same year in 78, I was also at 2 World Series games against the Dodgers.
Wow.
And Gossage was an awesome pitcher. There's so many 98-mile-per-hour throwers in today's game that at that time there was far less of them, and he was a 98-mile-per-hour bullpen pitcher, and the Yankees picked him up from the Pirates. And that really ended Sparky Lyle's career as the closer. They traded him to the Texas Rangers after that. He had won the Cy Young Award in 77, and then they picked up Goose Gossage as a free agent. And Sparky Lyle had a lesser role and then was traded to the Texas Rangers after that.
Yeah, he was the start of the closer there.
Right. And so that's a little bit of Yankee history. But as of right now, I would say we're just still in the hearsay range.
Yeah.
The main thing that's happening is the Yankees have made the trade for Paxton, and we just discussed that extensively. And we'll see where they go from there.
I think the Yankees should really go on a 6-man rotation.
Possibly. That would help Tanaka, because as we've said, it's even shown, the statistics have shown that Tanaka pitches better with an extra day of rest.
Yeah, well, that's true, man. But the thing with Tanaka is that they never hit for him, man. I always say that. He always pitches a great game. And let's say he might give up 1 run, like in the first inning, second inning, he give up a home run. And it's 1-0, and the Yankees can't hit to come back.
Right. And also, I'm thinking that the possibility of a reason of that being is because Tanaka is one of the top-of-the-line pitchers. So in that part of the rotation, he he is often facing a pitcher from the other team that is also in the top of the rotation as well. You follow what I mean?
That's true.
You know, so he's usually, because of where he sits in the rotation, he's usually lining up against one of the other team's better starters as well, and that could be for some of the lower scoring games.
Who you think's gonna pitch opening day at Yankee Stadium?
Oh, wow. I can't even think right now. I can't even imagine. I mean, Severino is still regarded as their ace, even though he had that very tough time period in the middle of the season where he pitched to an run average over 5. But Severino's beginning of the season was lights out. By the time he entered June, he had a 1.98 earned run average, and then I could talk a little bit about Severino. I've looked up some information about him.
Yeah, go ahead, because I think Severino is going to be the pitcher anyway on opening day.
What happened with him is many feel he pitched another 193 innings this year and 200 innings the year before. And what many people may believe that he had some fatigue, and his average fastball went from 98.6 miles per hour down to 97.6 miles per hour, and his slider lost movement because of fatigue, and instead of it breaking sharply, it was running side to side. So it was hitting a lot. It was getting into the middle of the plate, and with the slight decrease in velocity and lack of movement, he was getting hit a lot harder. And many people believe that he might have just went through a little bit of a dead arm period that caused his
Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing right now. A big factor in that right there, that was the heat in New York City.
Right.
The heat was so hot over here. The air was so thick. Those baseballs wasn't curving. I don't care who you was. You could be Randy Johnson trying to throw a curveball. It wasn't gonna curve. You know what I mean?
Right.
And because of that, the air gets really thick, man, with smoke, and then the Yankees is cooking garlic fries and pumping smoke in the damn air. So forget about it. That ball ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the heat, man. It's like it's all about the humidity, and the humidity, man, kills you, man.
Exactly.
You know, it sucks the energy right out of you. You know.
Yes, and we'll do in the future. We'll do a little bit. I've been talking to a climatologist, and maybe we'll do a little bit about some of the things that I'm studying as well in the future. But for today, we'll just concentrate on the Yankees. And yeah, it was a very hot summer. I remember July 4th, our game on July 4th, and we were sitting at the top of the stadium. I just watched that vlog again recently, and boy, was that a hot day. And fortunately, we were at the top, so there was some breeze.
Yeah.
But we had some very hot days this past summer.
And you know how it gets in Yankee Stadium, that the air doesn't move, man. It gets like stagnant there, you know. And the flags, you see the flags moving with wind, but you're sitting at the seat and there's no wind moving. There's just heat,
right?
Like, you know,
right.
Yeah, it's like you're in an oven.
Exactly. I even watched one of your blogs, Too Hot. Your blog is called Too Hot. I go back. I'm a big fan of your blog, as you know. I'm very happy that was in a few of them this year. And one of your blogs was Too Hot, and it was also a very good one. But you had to head out by about the 7th inning because it was just so overwhelming with heat.
Yeah, man. Yeah. There was one. I think that was the game where they turned the lights off. Majority of the lights off and stuff because it was so hot.
Right. But anyway, we're just in the very early part of the hot stove season. So unfortunately, we just were able to talk about Paxton, but everything else as of right now is just talk, really. You know, a lot of rumors and that kind of thing. And we can't really report on anything else as of right now. So I figure, I guess we could call it now. I think we've gone a good half hour or so. We really discussed Paxton, and we'll do our next one, I guess, in about a week or so. Yeah, when some things come up.
Yeah, man. Or if something else comes up in the meantime, we could do it earlier. So stay tuned.
Right. Excellent. Sounds good. And I'm glad we were finally able to. We had some scheduling difficulties and a few things, but we finally got our hot stove one in. So
yeah, hopefully I sound better too with this microphone because I just got it off of the Black Friday thing.
Yeah,
so hopefully it sounds good. So and it's easier to set up now. So we can do the next podcast could be whatever, talk about global warming.
We'll figure about another week or so, and we'll discuss some things. We'll talk about baseball, or I will have to prepare for the science one. So maybe we'll just do another Yankees hot stove next time, and I'll prepare for the science one.
Yeah, man. We'll talk about it, man. Like there's a lot of stuff to talk about, man. So we'll pick it up on the next podcast. So we'll leave it here, and we'll say goodbye to everybody, and we'll see everybody on the next one.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
All right, so long, everybody. That's it.
Okay, we did good there, huh? I had a lot of information prepared on the Paxton trade.
No, it was perfect, man.
Yeah, I had a lot of information prepared on the Paxton trade as well, so that was good that we were able to fill it up with a lot of Yankees baseball information.